Hello, theater fans, and welcome to Theater Center. I'm your host, Spencer, joined by the always lovely and talented Cora.
Oh, hi everybody, and talented. I like that addition today.
And we're here today to talk to you about our March Madness theater style.
Yes, that's what we're here to talk about.
Or
dun dun dun.
something like that. So we over the last several years, actually, at the door of the theater, at the door of the Citadel stage, where Enter Stage Right does its wonderful shows, we have been collecting names and of shows that
you guys wanted to see.
You all want to see. So we seeded all of those. Actually, I seeded all of those, so it doesn't make sense exactly why some are up against each other. That's my fault.
We put this together to have a little bit of fun. People are missing their sports, they're missing their theater. And so we definitely miss our theater, and so this is something you guys can do at home in quarantine and have a little bit of fun with us.
So all of these shows were seeded into 4 regions, and our 4 regions being fantasy adventure, drama, comedy, and musicals. All right. So each one of the teams, yes, each one of the teams got seeded and placed one against each other in each category. So without further ado, we'll get started on our first
round one
with fantasy adventure.
So this is what you guys voted on. Those that voted for round one. These are all the things that you guys decided.
And the first matchup pits The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe against George Orwell's 1984.
Yes, it does. So you would think that The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is a great show, but also 1984, pretty relevant today.
And by the results are in, 1984 was TKO'd because The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe everyone loved. 70% to 30%. Matching up on The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Taking us on to our next matchup, pitching Gulliver's Travels.
Yes.
Up against
The Time Machine. Because sometimes we just want to go back.
H.G. Wells classic. So this again was another one that was actually very close. Not another one that was very close. The first one we've talked about that's very close.
Yes.
53% to 43%. 53% to 47%. There were not 4 undecided. 53% to 47% liking the Lilliputians and Gulliver and his travels.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You can also use that time machine to go forward, but people didn't think about that. Maybe that's why they didn't vote for it.
Actually, that is what the show is about. He goes forward.
I know, that's why I thought I'd put it in there, because I thought about the comment about the past. I'm like, oh, people that really know what it's about, they're going to go, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. So I thought I'd put that second one in, just to show people that I do sometimes.
Indeed. Indeed.
I don't always fake it.
So, our next matchup, pitting The Sorcerer's Apprentice against Dr. Dolittle.
Some animals! Some
Talking to the animals. Walking with the animals, talking with the animals.
I mean, the other one is a mouse, if that helps.
Walking with the animals, right? That's only the Disney version.
I'm just saying.
Walking
I know, because it's actually Doctor Strange, right? According to the last
Yes, yes. So, Dr. Dolittle, walking with the animals, talking with the animals, taking the animals right out the door because he lost.
Yes, he did.
Another close one though, 57 to 43. Bringing up our last matchup, which is pitting Oz, the show. We're hoping that everyone realizes this is Oz, the 3-person show, and not Oz the musical that's on our bracket.
A lot of you aren't reading the things.
Pitting it up against Spark.
Okay, this time I don't know what I'm talking about.
Spark,
I don't
where Pan and Jude and Ferreira have to take a test.
Sure.
It's kind of like Hunger Games meets the GRE, or the SAT.
Okay. Do they, like, kill for it?
Yes, there is definitely.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But in fact, no one cares because it was a total knockout.
It fizzled out. Get it? Spark fizzled out.
Oh.
I got you.
Oz picked that one up and took it out. So that's the end of our fantasy adventure bracket. We're moving on now to drama.
Dun dun dun.
And at the top of our drama bracket, we have To Kill a Mockingbird taking on Lord of the Flies.
Yes, we do. So To Kill a Mockingbird, very popular. Not just with cats that don't know what it means. And Lord of the Flies, which is a frightening yet very good show.
It reminds me much of the theater Lord of the Flies.
It's every man for himself sometimes.
And whereas as Piggy would be my favorite, Lord of the Flies had to fly away. To Kill a Mockingbird took that one 73% to 27%.
They did not vote for Piggy or anybody else.
Did not vote for Piggy. And he dies too. Moving on, speaking of death.
Spoiler!
Death of a Salesman.
Death of a Salesman!
Was up next.
I enjoy Death.
The number 3 seeded.
Of a Salesman.
Taking on the number 6 seeded, Glass Menagerie.
Glass Menagerie. You can make all the references you want. Nobody's gonna get them.
And it looks like the American Dream of Death of a Salesman took that one, 58% to 42%.
Rumble it up.
And off it goes.
Bye.
Moving us to the next matchup, where Arsenic and Old Lace
very funny, dark comedy in our drama section.
takes on Stella! Stella!
Streetcar Named Desire.
Streetcar Named Desire. Blanche Dubois.
Nobody desired it.
No, they did not. Streetcar Named Desire went down to Arsenic Old Lace, 67 to 33%. Which moves us to our last matchup, the ever popular Outsiders.
Yes.
Stay golden.
Stay golden. What if it really does mean
They liked him.
that he liked him as blonde?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Because he's a blonde.
Yeah.
Taking on the Crucible. We should probably get to the witches. Taking on the Crucible.
I can't sing Earth Girls Are Easy, I guess, today. E-L-O-N-D. Because I'm a blonde. Don't you wish you were blonde?
Well, you can though, because the Outsiders wiped up the floor with the witches, 71% to 29%.
Yeah, where are all of our Wiccans? Come on, no love for the Crucible today, I guess.
Or they just didn't want to see people get burned.
Possibly.
Drowned. Burnt? Drowned.
Well, they were witches. They weren't witches, but they did a whole lot of things. But in this particular show, it is about.
Which takes us to the end of our drama category.
You know, we should
Center.
totally throw it to our correspondent in the field.
If we had one, we could.
We do.
We do?
We do have one.
All right.
We're gonna throw it to her.
Okay.
Interstate right is closed. I can't even go to school. I can't even go over to my friend's house. And you can't even go to parks. You have to play outside here. And what if you don't have any play equipment or anything good to play with? And you can't even go inside restaurants anymore. In the store.
Thank you, Tubby, for that awesome report. I think we're going to cut you off there, though, and get back to some theater talk.
Absolutely. Moving on to our next region, which is the comedy region.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yes. Ha, 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 ha. Ha.
Ha.
Yes, the comedy region. Pitting the funniest shows against one another.
The other funniest shows.
The other funniest shows. Starting off with probably the Cinderella story of the entire bracket so far, of any of the brackets. The entire tournament. The Cinderella story of the entire tournament so far. When we talk about Noises Off.
Oh, love Noises Off. I was the prop master for that one time. Oh my gosh.
Taking on Glengarry Glen Ross, the top seeded team in this bracket. And Noises Off crushed them. 67% to 33%.
Because if you're a theater person, Noises Off is awesome.
Moving us into the number 3 versus the number 6. So at the number 6 seeded team being The Importance of Being Earnest.
Wild about it.
Taking on Charlie's Aunt.
Don't know anything about it.
Where the nuts come from. That's a quote from Charlie's Aunt. When the nuts come from.
I would say the theater, but you know.
Yeah, well, basically, people love The Importance of Being Earnest, didn't really care where the nuts were coming from.
No.
80% to 20% preferred The Importance of Being Earnest. Taking us to the next one, Life with Mother Superior, the number 5 seeded team.
This is a great meme. It is so funny. Mother Superior. I mean, I can't do dialects, but it's very funny because the dry cleaner wants to know if they have any dirty habits.
Cats on the internet.
Kittens are cute.
How unusual. Life with Mother Superior taking on 40 carrots.
40 carrots. Carrots are really good for you. But
Uh-huh.
not that kind of carrot, which is probably why.
Why no one cares if a car broke down in Greece, because Life with Mother Superior won that one 72 to 28%.
That's what 40 carrots is about?
28%. It's a comedy about a car breaking down in Greece and people.
Okay.
Anyways, moving on
That's why I lost.
to our last matchup of the bracket, the number 2 versus the number 7. Pink Panther striking again. against a month full of Sundays, and there weren't enough Sundays in this month to have them win. They're going to take their Sundays to go home because the Pink Panther pulled this one off 63 to 37.
Some of us are quarantined, so every day is like a Sunday.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Moving us to our last bracket, the one that everyone was waiting for. This is where the power player is really going to come out. We believe. I believe. My pick for the winner is here, but I can't say which one is my pick. So, I mean, the musical bracket.
I can say which one mine is. I'll tell you at the end. It did not win already, so I can say it.
So starting off with our at the top with the Sound of Music, our number 1 seeded team taking on Brigadoon. Brigadoon. So that city that only comes around once every 100 years is not going to come around again because Sound of Music took it out.
Well, maybe it just needs some more years.
79 to 21%.
But it was a big hit in Antarctica.
It was a big hit. Moving to our next matchup, number 3 versus number 6, having Grease, the musical.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
I will. Taking on Spamalot. The Knights that say knee. And unfortunately, they had to go Niue because Grease crushed Spamalot. Well, not crushed, 65 to 35%.
But I'm really shocked at this one because in our area, we have the conversation about doing Spamalot has been very rampant, and it keeps coming up. Even if we drop it, people still bring it back up. Hey, when you're doing Spamalot, we need to do Spamalot because McMorton used to do it, and they're not doing it anymore. And they used to do it every year, and people loved it.
And yet,
so I'm really shocked.
The voters threw a holy hand grenade, and we're moving on to the next one. It is Oklahoma. I have no idea how to spell it. Oklahoma taking on a Bronx Tale. Closure and his friends taking on Oklahoma.
Yes.
And unfortunately, it doesn't look like the mobsters of New York can hold a candle to the Cowboys of Oklahoma because Oklahoma took this one 68 to 32%.
I was only a little bit surprised on this one because it just came through Broadway touring, and so kind of was in people's thought processes. But maybe that's how it got on the list in the first place. Somebody saw it in Detroit and went, "Hey, we should have that here," and maybe got put on the list that way. I don't know. Yeah. People love the movie, so but.
Unfortunately, they like spelling bees more, so Oklahoma wins this one. Moving us to our last matchup of the day, it is the Addams Family, the musical. Gomez, Morticia, and all those folks taking on Something Rotten.
Something Rotten!
Which was
such a great show!
Number 2 seeded team, so here we go, yet another Cinderella story because Something Rotten was...
If you don't know what this show is, you need to research that and see it.
Definitely rotten because the Addams Family crushed them 75% to 25%.
I seriously can only imagine that it's because you guys don't know what it is. I can only imagine that because you've never seen it. So, but I saw this last year, I think, when it toured in Detroit. I saw it. Oh my gosh! So that was my number 1 pick. Not that I thought it would win because it's not as well known, but it should be.
But it's not.
I know.
So we move on to.
I wasn't eligible to win anyway. It's fine.
That was the end of our 4 brackets.
Yes.
So you will be able to see online the winners and the percentages are all up on our website. And we're moving into round 2.
Yes, round 2 has already started. It's been up for a few days, but because we're just now getting to this part of the broadcasting it, we thought we'd give you a couple extra days this week to get out there and stay in. And put in your votes this week. If you saw things last week or on our round 1 here that you went, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have lost. If you're thinking the same thing about the next step, make sure you go and vote.
Speaking of that, our theater family, stay safe, stay healthy.
Yes, please do.
Big thank you to everyone who's staying home. Big thank you to everyone who can't stay home. All the first responders, manufacturing folks that are making sure the world's still there when we all get back.
Oh my gosh, all the people putting themselves out there, all the small businesses that are terrified of shutting down, all the medical professionals that are terrified of what's coming through their doors, and all the teachers online making it work for their students still, the parents at home trying to make it work for their kids. It's a tough time, so we're happy to spend a little bit of time, hopefully get your mind off of things a little bit, and we cannot wait to be back in the theater and back to enjoying our art, and this is just a little something to help tide us over.
A little something not rotten, because that's not in the bracket anymore. So, thank you very much. Go vote for round 2, get your friends to vote, and we'll see you back after that voting's done for another one of these.
We're going to leave it open till Friday now. So we'll do this again on Saturday and open up round 3. Dun dun dun.
Da-da-da.